the NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. Oh, that hurts. These guys are tough. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh. The NFL on ESPN.
Ready to start the second quarter. Eagles and the Redskins at 7-7. Of course, you all know that the Eagles have lost the NFC Championship game 3 years in a row. Most people fully expect they'll be back to the NFC Championship again. How much pressure is there on the Eagles to take that one extra step?
Mike, I really don't think the pressure is on them. The problem, what we're seeing tonight in that first quarter, they lost 3 defensive linemen. Now, Javon Curse came back. That's going to be their problem, losing players.
Can they still healthy? Can they stay healthy? You hear so often a sense of urgency. This team has no sense of urgency. They're just having fun.
McNabb out in the flat. Owens. Gang tackled, and they were waiting on Terrell Owens.
The whole team tackled him.
Look at that.
They all wanted a piece.
And they say the ball came loose.
And the Redskins, I think, have the football. I mean, Terrell Owens fighting for the extra yards.
I mean, there are guys that you like to hit. I guess the whole team wanted to hit him because I think
they
there were
did.
at least 6.
And they took the ball away. Antonio Pierce led the charge for that defense. Are you kidding?
What a big play for the defense. This is just Terrell Owens trying to get in the end zone, trying to make a play. He's in the backfield. Donovan swings it out to him. Now watch this, one-on-one. Sean Spring lights him up. As soon as Antonio Pierce hits him, the ball bounces out. Watch this, right into Antonio Pierce's chest. Hits him, ball off his knee, right into his chest. No question he's got the football.
How about Sean Springs going out of bounds and coming right back in to help out on the play?
The Redskins defense somehow has done it again. Portis takes it across the 10 to the 11.
One thing that Greg Williams told us about his football team was the last question we had in the meeting room two days ago. I said, and what about the tackling in the National Football League? He said, that is not going to happen to my football team. These guys that I have on my football team are going to tackle the same way they did in the first game, in the last game that we play.
You see how well they've done against the run, talking about that tackling, ranked #1 against the rush.
And when you look at those numbers, consider that the Redskins offense is 30th overall, 32nd in scoring. They get no help from the offense. They've gotten very little help from special teams, and they just fight their heart out.
The Redskin offense cannot just do this all night. They can't throw 5-yard hitches and run 5 yards, or else they're going to lose field position games. The Eagles have proven that they're dynamic and explosive. The Redskins are going to have to put the ball up and make some plays down the field to Gardner and Coles, or else they're just going to get set aside.
Coles. Well, it really wasn't going to work after about the 5th move.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got another defensive lineman down. Sam Rayburn, he is limping, number 91. Take a look at this play. Look at Javon Curse, 93, back into play. But all of this running did nothing but gain 2 yards. You know what? Joe Gibbs, when he told us the other day, it was really interesting. Why they're 4 and whatever they are. You know what he said? We don't make big plays. We don't have any big plays. They started the game with 2 big plays.
Well, he's got a, yeah, but it was a kick return.
Oh, boy.
4-man rush, nearly an interception, as Paul Grassmanis, who has been inactive, getting a chance to play tonight and gets pressure right up the middle. And Robert Royal, the tight end, would have had to make a circus catch out of that one.
Okay, for him to say.
Whatever you want.
Let me ask you this, Joe. Does Ramsey like to get hit?
Well, he's
used to it.
He's used to it. That's the point Michael makes. Patrick looks like he's hurrying things a little bit. That ball got out of his hands too quick. The last 3rd down to Liddell Betts, he threw it quicker than Betts was ready for it.
Jim Johnson's defense will do that to you. Ramsey got it over the middle this time, complete to Coles, and Coles takes a monster shot from Michael Lewis and still hangs on.
We talk about the toughness of wide receivers in this league. And the guy that everybody talks about is Hines Ward. Lavernius Coles is like a Hines Ward. Look at the shot that he takes from Michael Lewis and still holds on to the ball. He goes parallel to the ground.
Boy, that was a decleater. And doesn't this look like last week?
I'm telling you, it started out that way, and it's going to continue. These two teams really don't like each other. Remember, Philadelphia tried to bury these guys 3 weeks ago.
Ramsey again, quick out. This one caught by Rod Gardner, and he'll get a couple before Lito Shepherd makes the tackle. And people have to remember what the Eagles have done. They lost two great corners, Troy Vincent and Bobby Taylor, veterans. Normally, if you're a contender and have to replace both corners, Joe, you're done. But they've done it.
They've been without McDougal, a defensive lineman, Burgess, a defensive lineman. You've added a Javon Curse. So, I mean, you have lost a lot of Pro Bowlers.
2nd and 5, whistles will kill the play. And it looked like Ray Brown, the veteran tackle, on his 42nd birthday, moved early.
Offense number 67. A 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
And it was Ray Brown.
These are the defensive starters that are not in the 2003 NFC Championship game. These are the guys that are on there now. Curse, Douglas is back. Trotter is back. Dahani Jones, Sheldon Brown, and Lito Shepherd replace Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent.
When was the last time you called Jamal Green's name, number 65, as the defensive end for Philadelphia? That's how deep they are.
Second-year player out of Miami. This one's out in the flat to Royal, and Royal can't get past Dawkins.
You know, we talked to Brian Dawkins last night. I love talking to this guy.
He's great.
Oh, I'm going to tell you what. He says, I'm the leader, and they're going to follow what I do. And I'm going to tell you something. What he does is a little frightening, because he's another one of those guys that will take your cleats out.
I like the other thing he said. We don't want any team to look at us on film and think that anything they're going to do is be easy. We're going to make them work for every yard.
He's still tougher than a bag of nails. Liddell Betts comes in on 3rd down for the Redskins. Ramsey trying to keep the chains moving and hits this one complete for a 1st down.
No, he didn't get the 1st down.
Ooh, what are you going to do, Joe? You're 4 and 8.
Boy,
he had to come back to that ball. Yeah, he had to come back to the ball.
It's Rod Gardner who makes the catch.
What you do is you ask for a measurement.
Watch this. He dives back for the ball and goes out of bounds, and that's where the ball is marked. The ball should not be at the 45-yard line. It's got to be at the 44.5, because that's where you're not. And this is not a 1st down. And I agree. Oh, go, man.
You got it right, Eagle Eye.
Yeah, Eagle.
You got it.
My right eye.
Your right eye. That was the right eye check. Oh, the ball's moving.
Don't let it move. Don't move the ball, man.
Joe's a little frustrated.
This is not a 1st down, but what do you care? You're right. 4 and 8. What difference does it make?
Let me say this. The 5-yard penalty is what hurt them. See, the Redskins do not have an offense where they can go out and make up 15 yards in penalties. They have to play it very close to the vest. Now, what's Coach Gibbs going to do?
You got to punt the ball.
Absolutely.
Why? Seriously, why?
You're in this game. You want to win the game. You don't want to take a chance.
I know you do, but you got to look at the size of this offensive line. They've been moving the Eagles off. The only time that the Eagles are getting in anywhere is on a pass rush and when they're blitzing.
I don't care, Paul. It is not a good move. You've got one of the best defenses in football. They're doing a terrific job. Let them go out and play.
Joe, we just find out why Paul isn't coaching. Why he's up here with us.
Well, you know, I would never want to coach. I've already raised 3 children. I'm not going to raise 53 more.
You couldn't keep a job making decisions like that.
Yes,
though.
I could.
Dexter Wynn drops back for Tupa's punt. Low line drive, and Tupa is getting some great breaks tonight. This one goes out of bounds at the 11, a 44-yard kick, and no return.
trick.
ESPN Sunday Night Football, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39. eBay, the power of all of us. Miller, there's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. And Harley Davidson, it's time to ride.
Eagles like to throw the football. They like to put the ball in the air. There's your play selection by Andy Reid. 12-2.
Well, they've had 3 possessions. They've only run the ball twice.
And they only have a whole yard, and they're going to lose that. Marcus Washington made the tackle after Ronaldo Wynn got penetration. This defense is something special.
Greg Williams is something special.
He sure is.
He did it in Tennessee. He did it in Buffalo. I mean, he loves to bring pressure. He told his guys right in the first meeting, we're going to hit somebody moving behind the line of scrimmage on every play.
He will be a head coach again one day, but he will have, I think, a better choice of selections.
Might have a lot of them this year.
McNabb sitting in that pocket again, throws low, incomplete, and Owens is still with a big goose egg on his stat sheet.
No, he's got one catch.
No, he's got one for what?
Yeah, and he fumbled it.
Oh, that was the fumble.
But
he'd like to have a 0.
Now here's T.O. trying to get off the line. That springs. Yeah, well, that ball wasn't thrown to him either.
See, Donovan's almost holding the ball so long in the pocket that he's in rhythm, and then he gets out of rhythm and then just tries to strong arm it into the receivers. He's way out of sync.
T.O. comes all the way wide left, and Smoot is on him. They'll blow this one dead. Ron Winter, our veteran referee.
False start. Offense, number 36. Penalized half the distance to the goal.
You talk
3rd down.
You
Westbrook,
talk about
the running back.
Talk about critical times in a game. For the Eagles, they know where they're going. They know the kind of football team they have. This down in distance would be a backbreaker for the Redskins if the Eagles were able to convert. If the Redskin defense can hold this offense down and make them punt, this place will keep rocking.
Draw play. Westbrook, room to run. Out to the 20 and then slammed down and almost got the first down.
He's 1.5 yards from the first down. This is Brian Westbrook. This was just a quick draw, and look at this. I mean, he gets some outstanding blocking, but watch the moves he makes. He never stops moving. He gets whacked. He still picks up another 6 yards and almost gets the first down.
Boy, Marcus Washington really saved at that time.
What are they marking this for? I mean,
where are they marking it on the 20-yard line for?
Well, he got to the 20, but but first down's a 21.5.
Oh, no.
The ruling on the field is forward progress. The runner was driven back. We will measure.
I don't believe he ever got to the 20.
Doesn't matter. He's still going to be a whole yard shy.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's this close. I really don't.
Well, the yard markers across the field have it past the 21.
Well, yeah, it depends on where the ball is, and you can't tell from that unless you're down the line of scrimmage. But he may have gotten the ball to at least the 20, but I don't think beyond.
But it's so far short.
And it shouldn't even be a measurement.
No.
I mean, there's no way you waste your time on a measurement.
Well,
not if it's a yard.
Well, we have plenty of time.
See, Philadelphia may want to go for it.
Thank you, Coach.
Look at that. You just lost your second job.
Yeah. Assistant. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Step back so the cameras can let the people at home make a decision and see it.
Okay,
it wasn't a yard.
Well, it was.
Now,
where it was marked on the sideline.
Here's Andy Reid. What are you going to do, Paul?
Punt.
Okay, good.
Well, I know that
job.
because the Johnson, the punter's out there.
But still, what a great effort by Brian Westbrook.
It was tremendous, but he got a very favorable mark out of it.
3rd down and 18, and you get 17 3/4 yards.
Dirk Johnson to kick to Thrash. Johnson, the second-year punter out of Northern Colorado.
Short. Oh, you got to field it, man.
Thrash trying to get up there, takes it on the first hop, and then is swarmed under at the 40.
Easy for you to say.
2-yard return. There's a flag down at the 34-yard line of the Eagles. We'll check that out.
Paul's sitting up here saying, oh, you got to field it. All of a sudden, gets destroyed.
That's what you want to see, the guy field it.
Yep.
Well, Thrash is fast, but he's not that fast.
During the kick, personal foul, face mask, number 45 of the receiving team.
Oh, that hurts.
Penalized 15 yards. First down.
Mike Sellers called for the penalty. Redskins ball when we come back.
3 minutes of punishment. 10 rounds of action. And sometimes you can describe them as the best rounds of the year. We're searching through our collection and choosing what we consider to be the best of Friday night fights. Every week, only on ESPN.
It's Monday Night Countdown at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. The best place to get ready for Monday Night Football. Then on ABC at 9 Eastern. Trent Green and the Chiefs go to Tennessee. Football from Nashville to take on the Titans on Monday night. Redskins, after the penalty on the return, pushed back to their 25. And this to Thrash for about 5. Let's go to Susie.
Mike, this game has NFC East written all over it. Physical and a game of revenge for the Redskins. Want to get back at those Eagles. Didn't take long. 46 seconds in, Clinton Portis for the touchdown. But Donovan McNabb buys his guy some time outside the pocket, hits his tight end L.J. Smith to tie it up. And then the story has been defense. The Redskins, number 2 in the NFL, holding the Eagles to just 14 rushing yards. Ryan Westbrook can't get it going on the ground.
Tied at 7, Susie. It's been a heck of a first half. Portis, maybe a yard. They need to reach the 35 for a first down.
We were talking about the injuries on the defensive line. Hollis Thomas is out with a dislocated elbow. So now, Corey Simon is still not back in the football game. We said McDougal was out before it started, and Burgess as well. That's 4 defensive linemen. And you talked about it, Paul. Sure, they may have an 11-1 record on their way to the playoffs, but how healthy are they going to be when they get there?
Well, they started out with 10 defensive linemen, and down to about 6.
Redskins again shifting on 3rd and almost 5. Ramsey throws this one low. Was intended for Portis, but he had Javon Curse right in his face.
Oh, Javon Curse. You want to talk about speed? Watch him get to the outside. Ray Brown is the tackle on the outside, on the right side. And happy birthday, you're 42 years old today. But anyway, just take a look at this play to the outside. Javon Curse is the one that hits Ramsey's arm.
It's a wingspan that he has. I think it's a 74-inch wingspan. His arms are a big problem. His speed is a problem, but his arms, from a quarterback's perspective, I mean, he swats at you and the ball.
We saw him in his first and second year with the Titans do things that we simply thought were physically impossible to do.
Defensive backs should only be able to run that fast.
Exactly. Good kick this time, and Hood with a chance to return it. Check it, Dexter Wynn. He gets 20 yards coming back after a 45-yard punt, and this will be the best field position the Eagles will have a chance to start from tonight.
How the NFL on ESPN marches towards the playoffs in Week 14 of this incredible season. It's an old-fashioned shootout when the high-powered offense of the Kansas City Chiefs take on Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans. Chiefs-Titans live tonight on ESPN.
Simply the finest football on the planet. The top clubs. The elite players. In a quest for the ultimate prize of European football. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN. ESPN Sport Legends presents Arthur Ashe. Arthur Ashe, a great tennis player, had a greater concern for bettering the world and the plight of those who didn't have a say in their own civil freedoms.
People who could have made contributions to the world who were suppressed because of color. He felt it very appalling that Nelson Mandela would spend time in jail for what he believed.
I count February 11th, 1990 as one of the happiest days of my life, watching Mr. Mandela come out of prison. Obviously, I feel a part of the community of people who helped bring that about.
Arthur Ashe died on February 6, 1993, after a struggle with AIDS brought on by a blood transfusion following one of his 2 heart attacks. He was 49.
In tennis, the only way to get better is to play somebody who's better than you are. And Arthur served that purpose for a lot of people, not just in tennis, but in life.
7:03 to go, first half of play. Eagles and Redskins. Philadelphia takes over at its own 43 in a 7-7 tie. Donovan McNabb leads them out.
And he will throw.
4-man rush. He's had good protection all night. Owens, with only his second catch, got a great block from Josh Perry, the fullback.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, you dream about getting a block like this, and I'm talking about Josh Perry, number 49. He's coming out of the backfield. T.O.'s going to come across. He gets the ball. Look to your left. Here it comes. Wham! I mean, that is just good. Right here. He hits Ryan Clark, and it just opens up the sideline for T.O.
And Sean Taylor comes like a missile to knock him out of bounds.
Boy, when you see a flash, you know it's Sean Taylor. Westbrook. Good hard run that time.
The Redskins have done a pretty good job holding down and defending Terrell Owens. This is the first play of the game. You wind up with an incomplete pass, then the pass interference on Sean Springs, and then a little swing out in the flat to Terrell Owens. Antonio Pierce strips the ball away. You see that with a guy like Terrell Owens. He fights for those extra yards and exposes the ball sometimes, but both Smoot and Springs have done a pretty good job of keeping T.O. under wraps.
Smith and Owens come to the near side. Now Smith goes in motion, so Owens is over there by himself. McNabb throws underneath. He is just so strong and so smart. L.J. Smith, as he throws back against the grain, taken down by Marcus Washington.
Well, look how fast the ball gets there. I'm just laughing because Donovan McNabb knows exactly where the yard marker is. Watch this throw back. It's across his body. Look at the speed. Bang, right back to L.J. Smith, and they pick up the first down.
And also, you look at his eyes. All the time he was scrambling, he was looking downfield, and at the last second, he turned to throw back to L.J. Smith.
Donovan's hit 9 out of 15. There are the numbers, 151 yards and a score. McNabb taken down. The sack by Ron Warner, and the Redskins said they have a specific technique when they play a guy as strong as McNabb.
What you don't want to do is you just don't want to grab his leg. Watch what Warner does. He grabs him. When you get a hold of his leg, look at how he slides down. Now roll. You have to roll. See how Warner starts to roll over? That's the way Donovan will go down easy. It's just a question of bulldogging him.
Well, he was going to try and throw the ball to Brian Westbrook, and he was coming across, but underneath the 5-yard marker, and they just knocked him off.
Gosh, he's strong, though.
2nd and 19 after the sack. Screen to Westbrook. Breaks a tackle, got back to the original line of scrimmage.
You know what, in this game, with 2 minutes and 11 seconds gone in the first quarter, the score was 7-7. Now, these two teams have been playing defense ever since then.
You're right. It's like last week we did Pittsburgh and Jacksonville. That was a slugfest. I've been impressed with how hard Brian Westbrook runs. He's not a big guy. He's only 205. But on the third down play where he gained almost 18 yards, you saw him break tackles. On this last one, he split 2 Redskin defenders.
3rd and 11. McNabb, loose ball. Knocked away by Chris Clemens, number 57, the linebacker who got in there. And the Redskin no-names continue to do it on defense.
Yeah, they do. And what happens is Donovan McNabb does it. You know, he figures he gives all the confidence in the world he gets from his offensive line. But that time, they just get beat. Chris Clemens comes all the way around the blocker on the outside and makes the play. That's John Runyon. And makes the play. Donovan McNabb never saw him.
David Akers is having a brilliant year as a place kicker. 25 of 28. Now they're going to use a timeout. And he has just had a sensational year from beyond 40, 48-yarder when we come back.
Simply the finest football on the planet. The top clubs. The elite players. In a quest for the ultimate prize of European football. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
Take it from inside the 10-yard line. The reserve wide receiver with the good block on the play by Patrick Ness. And on the run and chased on the play by Earl Little. He will take it the distance.
Comes off and Mason, watch out. Here's your dunk champ. Wow. And there's the Minister of Defense again. You just had the birth of your first child. It wasn't. Oh, look at that shot. Vinny. He's looking for the 7 here. And it is caught. Inbounds is Keyshawn Johnson. Touchdown, Dallas. Gonna give it to Jones. Through the middle, Julius Jones. Touchdown, Dallas. Big run.
Wow, the NFL on ESPN marches towards the playoffs in Week 14 of this incredible season. It's an old-fashioned shootout when the high-powered offense of the Kansas City Chiefs take on Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans. Chiefs-Titans live tonight on ESPN.
The Eagles and the Redskins tied at 7. David Akers set to try a 48-yard field goal, which would give him an NFL record. He has 16 of 40 or better this year. 2 other men have done it, Ryan Longwell and Corey Blanchard. This is from 48 for the record and the lead in the game.
Wow. Real good.
Short. Did not make it, just short.
Big plays by the Redskin defense. Back-to-back sacks, creating an opportunity. You see this ball falls about a football short. And he's angry.
And you don't see Akers short or offline very often.
And there's virtually no wind in this stadium tonight. It's a calm, calm evening.
It's a calm evening at 14 miles an hour.
Ronaldo win. Talking to his defensive teammates. So what can the Redskins do in the final 2 minutes? They'll start with Portis. Spun down by Trotter. That's 265 against 210. And Portis is still down.
I'll tell you, they make tackles on Portis because they really realize that he is the one back on this field tonight. And once he gets in the open, he's gone.
And the other thing is, too, is after Pittsburgh beat up the Eagles as badly as they did, Andy Reid and Jim Johnson made some changes. One was to put Jeremiah Trotter in the middle of the football field at middle linebacker and move Mark Semino over to the weak side.
Ramsey pump faked and goes out to Portis again, dragged out of bounds by Semino, the weak side linebacker. And in that spot, he can use all that speed a lot better.
I don't care. You have got to, at some point, take some shots down the field. The National Football League today allows you to do that. I mean, we saw the pass interference on T.O. before. When you take a look at Patrick Ramsey's pass chart, he's 12 for 17. He's thrown one ball over 15 yards in the middle, and look at the way they've worked it outside. Now, you're going to come up 3rd and 7. You're going to come up 2nd and 5s. But you've got to get chunks. You can't work the ball 12, 14 plays in this league anymore.
And normally when you see 12 out of 17, you see right around 100 yards. But he's at 53, so that's an indication of the length of those passes.
And it's exactly the way Joe Gibbs called the first game against the Eagles, which they wound up losing. They stayed with them close, but he's got to find some explosiveness in the passing game in his offense to really, I think, threaten this Eagle defense.
3rd down here and 7.
Here they come.
Ramsey hangs in the pocket, throws to the sideline. Lavernius Coles makes the catch at the 45 for a 1st down.
It's one of the things that happens as everybody knows, once you're in a blitz, then you've got to play man-to-man on the outside.
Great job by the line. Patrick Ramsey waits and makes the throw. See how he leads them? Anticipate where the receiver is going to be. That's something Patrick Ramsey is learning to do. You don't have to fire it into small holes. Anticipate. I've been impressed by the way Patrick has played tonight.
And the Redskin receivers the last couple of weeks have finally started holding on to the football, something they had not done early in the year. Cooley, nice catch, but it killed his momentum to spin around the way he did. And Lito Shepherd able to make the tackle at the 40, and that will take us to the 2-minute Washington, or 2-minute warning here in Washington.
3 minutes of punishment, 10 rounds of action. We're searching through our collection and choosing what we consider to be the best of Friday night fights. Every week, only on ESPN.
The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. These guys are tough. The NFL on ESPN. ESPN Sport Legends presents Pele.
A statement was made that there are 3 people who could go anywhere in the world and be known immediately: the Pope, Muhammad Ali, and Pele.
If you would use the word perfect, yeah, Pele almost is there.
The man who would be called Pele was born Edson Arantes do Nascimento. After the onset of celebrity, 2 distinct identities emerged.
My father isn't perfect, he's a human being, so Edson is a man and Pele is a myth. It's a defense mechanism to allow himself to be human when he is expected to be perfect at all times.
Edson gonna die. Edson is a person. They have a feeling, they cry sometimes. Pele is an idol. He doesn't gonna die.
Coming up at the half, the Toyota Halftime Show with Chris Berman, the fastest 3 minutes in television, Boomer's Halftime Heroes, and NFL coaches going back to school. Coming up on the Toyota Halftime Show. Certainly one of them, Joe, Charlie White's going to your alma mater.
I think it's a great hire for the University of Notre Dame. Charlie's done such a magnificent job with the Patriots offense. I think he's got a great opportunity there at the university.
2nd and 5 for the Redskins. Portis And they may have blown this dead, which would be a break for Washington because Portis wasn't going to go anywhere.
Unless it's a penalty.
False start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Well, they get the down back. At least that's something. Let's go to Susan.
Mike, a lot of what Patrick Ramsey has learned about playing in the NFL and life itself came from a unique relationship with former quarterback Burt Jones of the Colts, an NFL MVP in 1976. Both from Ruston, Louisiana, both first-round picks. They have a unique relationship because Tram, Jones's son, was such good friends with Patrick. Patrick spent so much time in his house. I'll tell you the rest of the story after this play.
Four-man rush. Block it up pretty well, and Ramsey throws complete to Coles. Lavernius Coles got a block, and he's inside the 25.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is just, not only is it a great route, but it's also a heck of a pass. Patrick Ramsey, I mean, just drilled this ball. Look at this. I mean, that's a perfect throw. Lavernius Coles is set up. He steps into this one and really makes it hum.
But you can't, the clock is running. I mean, it's 1:30. I think you've got to be quicker getting to the line of scrimmage and getting some more plays off in a 2-minute drill.
Well, they still have 2 timeouts as well. Portis with that speed to get to the outside. Flag is down. That was a nice looking play. Little misdirection, and Samuel's got a chance to throw him a block on the outside. Let's see if it was McCants, number 85, with a hold.
It was. It wasn't a hold. It was a takedown tackle.
And he didn't have to do it. Not with Portis' speed.
Holding. Offense number 85. A 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
The guy on the outside isn't going to make the play anyway. Look at McCants. Now he tackles him. I mean, you can't do that. That was Hugh Douglas as the defensive end on the outside. Portis has already got him beat. And then you tackle the defensive back.
107 yards in penalties against the Redskins here in the first half. And those are just backbreakers.
Redskins with 2 timeouts in 1 minute and 9 seconds. But it doesn't matter if he grabs you. You can't grab him.
It's a nice takedown. Now we got
another whistle.
Man, oh man, they're taking themselves.
That's going to be the play clock.
Boy, does this thing look like the first game against the Eagles.
False start. Offense number 87. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
In the first game against the Eagles, the beginning of the 4th quarter, the score was 14-6. The Eagles were ahead. The Redskins had 1st and goal from the 10-yard line, had 7 consecutive plays of either drop passes, losses, or penalties, wound up missing a 48-yard field goal. This is eerie. Well, when you see what the Redskins are doing.
I mean, as a coaching staff, I blame them. Get the play into this guy.
Well, don't even hold him at the line of scrimmage. Go quick counts. Don't give the guys a chance to jump off sides.
Ramsey underneath. Catch made for about 5. Trotter on the tackle.
Come on, guys. They've got it. Yeah.
They've got 2 timeouts. They just took 1, Joe.
I really feel like this is the first time you've seen the Redskin offense out of sync. I just don't feel like it's being handled efficiently at this point. Of course, when you have back-to-back penalties, it makes it harder.
Susie, I know it was a long pause, but you finally have a chance to finish the story.
Well, lots of suspense. We like that. But it's the relationship of Burt Jones and Patrick Ramsey. And Ramsey said he could hear him in the Jones home coming up the steps, his knees creaking. So he learned firsthand the toll this game can take on your body. And Patrick told me tonight that the best piece of advice that Burt Jones gave him was just play your best and the rest will take care of itself. You see, Patrick tends to overanalyze everything. And it was just a reminder to really try to go out and just have fun.
And Susie, we remember Burt Jones playing Joe. He was just a tremendous player, had a back injury that cut his career.
Used to love to play against him in Baltimore, watch him throw the football. Fiery competitor.
Speaking of fiery competitors, there's number 81. Redskins going the wrong way. It's 2nd and 20. Ramsey short set. This time he gets the completion to Rod Gardner.
Well, Ramsey's looking at the bench. Please give me a play right away. And he's waiting. What do you want? You want me to call timeout? What do you want to do? They have another timeout. They're not going to call it here. But get him to play.
And the Redskins have had clock management problems all year long.
I think that's one of the negatives of the communicators in the helmets. Coaches can talk to quarterbacks too much.
They show blitz. Redskins pick it up, but now Ramsey floats it to Cooley, and he couldn't make the catch. Oh, what a throw by Ramsey.
I'll tell you, Ramsey had this ball. If it's a half-yard shorter, Cooley's got himself a touchdown. Cooley did the right thing. He just broke to the end zone. Look at Ramsey. That's Javon Curse's arm again, Joe, with that big wingspan of his. But look at this ball. I'll tell you, Cooley should have caught it.
He has a shot at it.
He jumped a little early, and Ramsey, that was a tremendous adjustment. And now they'll go for the 43-yard field goal by John Hall.
And I don't know how strong John Hall's leg is. He wasn't kicking very well in warm-ups.
Well, he was hurt earlier this year. That's got plenty on it, but it's wide.
See, John Hall is just not himself. When I watched him in warm-ups, it was the exact same thing. It was just it looks like the swing is just a little bit tentative. Yeah, it looks a little tentative.
Both teams have missed field goals, and we are still tied at 7.
We take a look at this play where Patrick Ramsey is scrambling around and trying to get away from Javon Curse. You see him, look, there is Clinton Portis stepping up the field. Now, Patrick really doesn't have much of a chance to survey it. Now, Clinton's not going to be tickled with the fact that he didn't throw the ball to him. But that's a little bit of, when you're under pressure, you go back to old habits. Patrick is to try and get the ball down the field.
Boy, and Daniel Snyder knew that was their shot, too, because Cooley was open. Ramsey, I thought, made a tremendous adjustment on that. McNabb draw play, and the Eagles will be very content to let this clock run out and go to the locker room tied on the road at 7. A very physical first half, a scoring explosion in the first 3 minutes. We haven't had anything since except great football. Our score here at the half, 7-7. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Toyota halftime show.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. The Eagles have to work for it. You know that Philadelphia, New England, and Pittsburgh, the 3 11-1 teams coming into this Sunday. We'd only had 3 11-1 teams one time previously in the NFL. That would be 1984. Niners, Dolphins heading the list then. We've never had 3 12-1 teams. Philly's struggling tonight. Let's begin our fastest 3 and see how New England and Pittsburgh did. Jerome Bettis and the Steelers were tied with the Jets early 4-3-3, but Bettis, the bus in the passing lane to Jeremy Tooman. Oh yeah, the bus does this as well. Throwing and running the Steelers to the AFC North crown on a 12-1 record. They win 17-6. Tom Brady throwing for the Patriots against the Bengals. Zing to David Patton. And then the Patriots had an early 3-touchdown lead. Asante Samuel with the pick. Bengals came back, but New England wins the AFC East 35-28 over Cincinnati. Peyton Manning, just 2 touchdown passes today. Houston made them work. That was Marvin Harrison. This is Reggie Wayne. Lowest point total all year Colts, but they win 23-14 over Houston, win the AFC South. T.J. Duckett, the big fella, had 4 touchdowns for Atlanta, who come back in a big way. 35-10 over the Raiders. They win the NFC South. Congrats to Jim Mora. Brian Greasy to the rookie Michael Clayton. And Tampa Bay aside San Diego 21 all. But Donnie Edwards, another huge game for the Lightning Bolts. Chargers, they're 10-3. They beat the Bucs 31-24. Brett Favre, tough first half, but he hits Donald Duke in the driver. Touchdown. And the Packers have come from behind to tie and then go ahead and beat Detroit on Ryan Longwell's field goal, 16-13. Seahawks, Vikings. Randy Moss, just before the 2-minute warning, picked off by rookie Michael Booyah. Michael Bulwer with the play. Then Dante Culpepper, team down 27-23 to Moss. Tick, tick, tick. They spike. They have one last shot. Culpepper sacked by Antonio Cochran. What a huge win after the Monday night debacle for Mike Holmgren and the Seahawks. They win 27-23. Jake, daylight come, and you got it del all. Carolina cruising 20-7. They won 5 in a row, and they beat the Rams 20-7. Eli Manning, another day at the office. Not a good day. Picked off by the Ravens head Reed. What? To Deion Sanders. Manning, 4 of 18 for just 27 yards. 2 picks. Kyle Bowler to Todd Heap. 4 TDs. Bowler. Ravens all over the Giants, 37-14. Fans get on Jake Plummer and Denver. You don't want to do that. You just don't want to do that. From finger to foot, Jason Elam, 50-yard field goal, good. Broncos beat Miami, playing well for Jim Bates, 20-17. Buffalo was 0-4. They're now 7-6. 13-yard touchdown, Willis McGahee against Cleveland. On a sloppy day, the Browns had 17 yards of total offense. A team record low, Bills team record low, 37-7 Buffalo cruising. Aaron Brooks to Joe, don't bother me, I'm on the horn. Touchdown. Saints beat Dallas 27-13. Byron Leftwich and the Jags finally win or are involved in a game that's not a nail-biter. 31 yards to Jimmy Smith. They beat the Bears 22-3. The Niners blew a 28-3 lead. They go to overtime against Arizona, but Maurice Hicks with the touchdown. Todd Peterson with the field goal. Niners, a pair of 31-28 overtime wins over Arizona. The other 11 games were lost. Dennis Erickson, a winner. Philly already has clinched the division. Today, Atlanta, New England, Pittsburgh, and Indianapolis join them as division champs. Congratulations to all doing this with 3 games to go. And coaching news. Charlie Weiss, the outstanding offensive coordinator of New England Patriots, has agreed to a 6-year contract with Notre Dame. He'll be introduced at the Golden Dome tomorrow. He's a grad of the school from '78. The man he replaces, Ty Willingham, will be introduced tomorrow as head coach of the Huskies in Washington. Back in the Pac-10, Willingham head coach at Stanford, who will now have Walt Harris, the Pitt coach, as their new head coach. Harris expects to coach Pitt, though, against Utah in the Fiesta Bowl. Oh, by the way, Notre Dame at Washington next September 4th. Circle it.
This halftime show is presented by the redesigned Toyota Camry. Now that's moving you forward.
When we return, our halftime heroes, the Bucks, throwing, running to the milestones, and Seattle's Darrell Jackson, a day you won't forget.
Simply the finest football on the planet. The top clubs. The elite players. In a quest for the ultimate prize of European football. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
Best of Friday Night Fights on ESPN. After conquering the USBA light heavyweight title, James Harlem Hammer Butler wanted to avenge an early defeat in his career against Richard the Alien Grant. Friday on ESPN. How the NFL on ESPN marches towards the playoffs in Week 14 of this incredible season. It's an old-fashioned shootout when the high-powered offense of the Kansas City Chiefs